Hello, my name is Alfred Bielek, more commonly known as Al Bielek. Original family name is Edward Cameron. We thank you for acquiring this CD. And the purpose of it is to present my history as I've researched it over the years, as I have learned it, as comprehensive as it can possibly be. I have been involved in the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk project, time travel, alien connections of the Montauk project, and some other projects, all of which have been secret over the years, most of which have never been declassified. The purpose of this CD is to give you a base of information, as I have found it. Certainly not everything that may be known on these subjects, but all that I have acquired, which is over 11 years. When I first became aware of my involvement with the Philadelphia experiment in January 1988, I had no idea how extensive my use, shall we say, by the government has been, nor where my research would go. I have been involved in many radio presentations, over 50, such people as Art Bell, Mike Siegel, Mr. Jarvis, and others. And in terms of direct presentations before a live audience, over 50 around the world, extensively in the United States, in Europe, and in Australia. The subjects covered have been from the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk project, mind control, some discussion of aliens, and related subjects. And they all fit together. So trying to understand how they fit together in the complex web which is involved is really the purpose of the CD, so that you, the viewer, may get some better idea of what information you have been denied by our government, been denied by the media, with a few exceptions, and give you a base of information so you can do your own research. Those of you who may be skeptical, because, frankly, the presentation is going to become rather bizarre as we go on with it. For those of you who are skeptical, I say fine. It is quite healthy to be skeptical, which means you don't accept either I or any of the other presenters on the CD say at face value. But go do your homework if you don't quite believe us, which is, as I say, quite healthy. Do your own homework, your own research, and I feel confident that eventually you will understand that what we are presenting is the truth. But that is for you to decide. The purpose is to educate. The purpose is to get you to think. The purpose is to help you to understand things which you may have wondered about for years and which you have had only very sketchy information presented to you from other sources. We will go into the history of the Philadelphia experiment, how it overlapped eventually into the Montauk project, people who were involved. Other presenters and myself will be such persons as Preston Nichols, who was heavily involved in the Montauk project, Stu Swerdlow, who was also involved in the Montauk project, and connections with aliens. And they all overlap and interlock. Another man who was involved with the Montauk project, Larry James, who, by the way, it is not his real name, but at his request we will not use his real name. Many other people have been involved, but in many cases we have not been able to get their consent to an interview. And, of course, many of the people involved in these projects in the past are now deceased or have, shall we say, vanished into the woodwork. As the case may be, we will go on and present to you as best we can the history as I know it and give you some food for thought. Many of these projects lasted many years. The Philadelphia experiment, for example, did not begin in 1943, but began much earlier, in 1931, and involved many people. A principal among them was, of course, Nikola Tesla, and there were many others. Many people have made contributions to many of these research projects. I was involved also during the war years, not only with the Philadelphia experiment, but Los Alamos and the atomic bomb project. I've been involved in many projects. And if you want to look some of these up, you're welcome to use the website. If you type my name in as Al Bielek on the website, you will find something today of over 1,800 hits. So that might keep you busy for a while. As for Preston, he's on the web also. Stu Swerdlow's on the web. Larry is not. There are other people. There are other sources of information. There are many others who have published on something which they know about either the Philadelphia experiment or the Montauk project. Unfortunately, I'll have to say some of this may prove and does prove to be disinformation. But you, the viewer, must decide. How do you separate out information from disinformation? That has been a classic question for a long time. It takes a lot of research. It takes a base of knowledge. You have to start someplace. Continue to acquire knowledge and information on the subject. And as you do, eventually you'll start to see a pattern. The pattern may emerge as disinformation. If it does, that's fine. You then throw away the disinformation, you continue, you will eventually come up with the true information. I'm not saying it's an easy process. It is not. I've had to do it myself. In the process of uncovering information and on my own memories, at first you come up with memories that you swear are true, but then you find that there's some distortion. It didn't remember exactly all the details. And it takes a great deal of time and a great deal of depth of research and going back time and again into your memories to find out what really happened. In order to correlate your own memories, you have to have other people who were involved at that time who have memories or information, hard information in some cases, of what occurred at that time. It takes a lot of work to eventually come up with a complete, or at least, if not complete, a true story insofar as you know it. So that is what basically I'm presenting here, as well as the other presenters. The purpose is to educate you as to what has happened, what has been covered up, where the government has deliberately covered up information, covered up complete reports, covered up complete experiments, a complete history, such as the Philadelphia experiment. The Montauk project, relatively few people have heard of, yet the site still exists on the eastern tip of Long Island, and you can go out there personally and view what's left of the buildings. Today they are in the process of being torn down, but 1 year ago they were almost all there. Hard research does show a lot of hardware and a lot of artifacts, if you will, which support the evidence we will present. The evidence will be in many categories. There will be hardcore evidence. There will be many pictures. There will be presentations by myself and others detailing the history as we remember it. And there will be also some documentation, perhaps after the main presentation, showing other areas of research you might engage, other references, of which there are a few, and where you might go for further information. We hope that your journey through this CD, which is going to be an extensive one, will be a happy one, will be one of education, will be one which will give you a further insight into history which you may not otherwise have had and otherwise will not have because the media is not touching it. And quite aside from the movie The Philadelphia Experiment, which was close to the truth of what happened, but of course, not blaming Hollywood, they have to present a story. And, of course, it was embellished with a typical Hollywood love story and other aspects which did not quite fit the facts. But for those of you who have not seen the Philadelphia Experiment, the movie, it is out there, both in CD and in the older form VHS video. If you have not seen the commercial movie, I suggest it's worth seeing. It doesn't give you the whole truth, but it gives you an insight. And as you progress through what I have to say and others have to say, you will eventually learn that those who did the movie definitely knew, at least to some extent, the facts of what happened. Doing this and viewing other things in terms of other presenters, you will eventually come to an understanding of the real history, which I might add is not easy. We welcome you to this bit of work. There is a lot of evidence here. There's a lot to be presented, and I think you will find as you go through it some very interesting information and some insights which you have not seen before, would never perhaps have ever seen, were it not for this CD. Good luck. Thanks very much.